y'all. So I decided to film over here because it's right by a window and the lighting's better. I don't know how I like it. We'll see, I guess. But I wanted to come on here and kind of film a little story time. I wanted to film and talk about how Josh and I met and kind of our story, in case anyone was wondering. So it's pretty long because we've been together for 5.5 years now. So I will get right into it and try not to talk too long. Okay. I'm still wearing this shirt. You probably saw in another video. Still wearing this just t-shirt because I didn't want to change. I'm lazy. And I'm excited that we're going to the bowl. So, started when I was a junior in college. My boyfriend at the time broke up with me the summer before junior year. It was a very bad relationship. And so after he broke up with me, I was like, you know, I'm gonna be single. I'm just gonna not gonna try to find a boyfriend or anything like that, because I'm just gonna let myself be single. So junior year starts and I get really sick. I end up in the hospital with meningitis. That's a whole other story in itself. I might tell that story in another video, but get really, really, really sick. Blessed to be alive now. But I leave the hospital with a PICC line in my arm, which is basically just a tube in my arm to give myself IVs at home. So I go home with an IV in my arm, and it is fraternity bid day, which is where all of the guys that go through Rush choose find out which house they get into or which fraternity they get into, and then every fraternity throws a big party for it. So I was like, oh, God, I have an IV in my arm, but I kind of still want to go. So I end up going out with an IV in my arm. I don't know why. It was a dumb reason. Dumb idea. I don't know. But the girls that I went out with were like, we went to a few parties before, but then they were like, let's go to a beta party. And I've never been to a beta party, ever. Never. I was like, I heard they kind of suck. That was just before I met them. I was like, oh, I don't know. They're like, no, it's fun, let's go. And I was like, okay. So we walk over to the beta house, Beta Theta Pi, and immediately I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I run, go to the bathroom, and I see this guy standing as I pass him. I'm like, don't think of anything of it. And then when I come back from the bathroom, he's still standing there, and I'm like, hey, I'm Megan. I introduce myself, and he's like, I'm Josh. And we start talking just about anything. Tell him what sorority I'm in and all this, and tells me he's a senior. And then we stand there in the middle of the party and talk for hours. And then the party's over, we're still talking, and we just sit there and talk about life and about anything. I don't know why. I don't know. We just started talking. So the next day, I think I got his number, or he got my number or something. And he texted me the next day, and he's like, hey, we're having another party. Do you want to come? And I was like, yeah, sure. I had fun last night. I'd like to get to know you more. Sure. He was like, so you can come over and pregame at my apartment, which we lived in the same apartment complex, just in different buildings. So we lived really close. He was like, you want to come over to my apartment building? We can pregame, get ready for the party. And I was like, okay. And so in my head, I was like, if I'm going over there to pregame, there'll be a lot of people there. So I go, and it's just him. I'm like, oh, okay. So we sit there in his room, just talking again, and we talk for hours, and we look at the clock and go, oh gosh, it's almost midnight. We should probably go to this party. So we go to the party, and same thing, we just talk and talk and talk. We talked so much. We talked for so long the first 2 days that we even knew each other. We told our whole life stories and knew everything about each other. Fun fact, at the first party we went to, when I met him at the party, like, first time I ever met him, he jokingly said that he was gonna marry me. And I was like, okay, you're funny. And then, look at us now. So anyway, second day, we go to the party, we talk, whatever, and then, I'm guessing that was, like, on a Sunday, or on a Saturday, sorry, into a Sunday, probably. And then Sunday, nothing, we probably, like, texted and stuff, but then on Monday, I texted him, and I was like, do you want to come over? I'm making dinner. Do you want to come over to my apartment and we can have dinner? And he was like, sure. So he comes over. I make him, like, chicken and mashed potatoes and corn, I think. And we eat, and then we decide we're going to play a board game. So we play The Game of Life, my favorite board game. And we watch How I Met Your Mother, still to this day one of our favorite shows. And we just sit there and watch TV and play The Game of Life until about 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh, it's 3 a.m. Like, if you don't want to walk over to your apartment, mind you, we lived in the same apartment complex, or same apartments, just different buildings. And I was like, if you don't want to walk back, probably like 20 feet, you can stay here. And he was like, okay. So we stayed the night that night. And then the rest after that, we stayed together if we were together if we weren't in class. We were together 24/7. And we kind of just were dating after that, but not really. Like, I told him, I was like, yeah, we're basically dating, but, like, and I told him, I was like, you know, I just got out of a really long relationship. I don't want to jump into another one. But after, like, a month or so, I was like, we're basically dating, but I need you to ask me to be your girlfriend. Like, that's how I am. I'm old school. I need you to ask me. I'm not just going to assume. So, everyone already thinks we're dating. We spend all our time together. We go everywhere together. And his fraternity was having a formal in Myrtle Beach, so he asked me to go with him. Of course, said yes. So in Myrtle Beach, we're still not official. But there was one night in Myrtle Beach that everyone wanted to go out. But he was like, I don't want to go out. I want to go to this Ferris wheel. And I was like, by ourselves? You don't want to go out with your brothers? You want to go to this Ferris wheel? And he's like, yeah, I want to go to the Ferris wheel. So I was like, okay. So there's this big Ferris wheel over Myrtle Beach. And I was like, okay, we can go. So we go onto the Ferris wheel and go around a couple times. And then, like, the second or third time we go up to the top. And he's like, I know we're basically dating, but will you be my girlfriend? And I was like, of course I will. And I know that sounds so cheesy and so lame, but, like, I don't know. I'm old school and I want someone to ask me. I'm not just going to assume. Okay, so after that, we're officially dating or whatever. And that was in October 2014, I think. And so we were dating. Everything's going great. We spend all our time together. We, like, basically lived in each other's apartments. And then he finds out that he got into an internship before we started dating. He applied for this and finds out when we were dating that he got into an internship for after he graduated in Nantucket. Mind you, I was a junior, so I still had another year after he graduated. But I was like, whatever, like, you know, that's a long time away. We'll just live our life right now while he's still in college. So then he graduated in May 2015, and he went off to Nantucket, and I was like, well, I'm still in school, so I'm going to stay here, and we're just going to date long distance, I guess, for while you're there. So he goes off to Nantucket, and it was really hard, but we did it. We just Skyped a lot, we FaceTimed, we talked on the phone, like, you know, I was often still in college my senior year. We always have been very trusting of each other. So, like, he was off in Nantucket, and I was at school still, you know, doing my senior year. It was fine. It was really tough, but we got through it. He came home in that summer, and we got to see each other for a few days, so that was good. But then after his internship, he moved back to his hometown in Shelbyville, and I was still in Richmond. He would come up some weekends, stay with me, but we were still kind of long distance. I mean, it was a lot shorter of a distance than Nantucket, which was like 20 hours or something like that. We were only like an hour or 2 hours or something. But he, came up and we got to spend some time together and stuff. But then we decided that after I graduated that we would move to Louisville because it's closer to Shelbyville. He was living in Shelbyville, working in Louisville. And so I was like, when I graduate, I'll get a job in Louisville and we'll get an apartment and move in together. So when I graduated in May 2016, we found an apartment in Louisville and moved in together. And when we moved in together, we were probably dating for over a year and a half-ish, maybe. We started dating in October 2014, like I said, and then we moved in together in May 2016. So then we moved in together, and which, like my mom said, she was like, I don't agree with it because you're not married, but I'm happy you're moving in together because then that shows you, what kind of person each other is. Which we basically lived together in college. When we were both in college, we lived in each other's apartments, but we were officially, living together. And so that was, like I said, May 2016. We moved in together and we lived together, and then let's see, in March 2017, he told me, he was like, let's go out to dinner, one Saturday, which we have what we call, gift card Saturdays or gift card Sundays, where we have gift cards that we get from Christmas or whatever, places to eat, and so we'll go use them. So he's like, let's do a gift card Saturday, let's go out to Texas Roadhouse and eat. And I didn't think of anything of it because I was like, okay, we always do this. So I was like, okay, let's go. So we went out to Texas Roadhouse, we ate, and then we came home, and as we were coming home, he was like, oh, I can't wait to lay in bed. We can watch How I Met Your Mother. And I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. And then I opened the door to our apartment, and there's all our friends and family, and there is rose petals and a heart and a big sign that says, will you marry me, and a box and a ring in the middle of the heart. And he came in, got down on me and proposed, asked me to marry him, and of course said yes, obviously. So then we had a year and a half engagement, which I wish we had longer. Planning wedding so hard. But we were engaged for around a year and a half, and then we got married in September 2018. So yeah, that was kind of and now we're just living our life, being married. But I hope this wasn't lame. I hope someone enjoyed watching this. But yeah, that's the story of how we met. Just weird. I don't know, it's kind of it's just weird how we met. Because, like I said, still had an IV in my arm. Don't know why I went out. Shouldn't have went out. And he told me that he was supposed to go back home to Shelbyville and work. The golf course that he worked at the time was going to pay him extra to come work. But his best friend was like, no, it's bid day. It's your senior year's bid day. You need to stay here. So he stayed. So it's weird how we both went out when we weren't supposed to. Weird how we just saw each other at the party and started talking. It just all was meant to happen. That sounds so cliche, but it was all just fit into place and was it was meant to happen. I don't know. I don't know, but that's how we met, and we have been together ever since. So yeah, that was our story of how we met and how we got engaged and all that, and how we got married. I hope you enjoyed that. I might do more story times if I like doing this, if this does well. I don't know. Like I said, I have the story of how I had meningitis and almost died. That was the scariest moment of my life. So I could do a story about that. I could do other stories from college because I have a lot of stories. I don't know. I'll have to think of some. I can do the story of our wedding, about our wedding, because that's a fun story. So if you want to hear any of those, comment below. Let me know. If you have any other story time ideas, let me know, and I can do those too. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you liked this sit down story time. Give it a like if you want to hear more. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!